Hello and welcome to another Forgotten North Gaming podcast. Good evening, Stan.
Good evening, mate. It's
Good
another
evening.
weekend. It's another podcast.
Oh, I know. It feels good to get back into sort of the swing of just sort of talking some crap about Warhammer.
Yeah. Come Friday night, chilling out with a beer and talking some crap.
I've gone whiskey this evening. Not smashing out a bottle of prosecco this time.
Well, it's not Christmas anymore.
It's not Christmas anymore, so I've just got a whiskey to see through the day of the week at work. So, Arcane Journal time. So thank you to anyone who's sort of watched the other ones so far. This one's episode 3, but it is out of sync this time to the release schedule. And I'm shout to any sort of casual Warhammer observer and player of Old World. That's because this weekend brings us brings us the Empire Arcane Journal official release.
Official release, even though the Arcane Journal was leaked before Christmas.
Oh, it was a long time ago. The Empire one, wasn't it? It was that's probably been the worst leak for Old World.
Oh yeah,
it has been, hasn't it?
Yeah, because all the information has come out, which has allowed us to do this show.
Yeah, we've got
So whoever leaked
because all of the systems like Old World Builder and the Arcane Journal's been, because it was leaked, like it does allow us to sort of have a preemptive think about what sort of crazy crap we would put together if we were using one of these lists.
Yeah, this is if you want an in-depth review of going through the units and the stat blocks, this isn't the place.
Nah.
It's out there. There's lots of other content creators have done it. This is basically us having a read of it and going, here are our lists.
Yeah, this is what we'd like to play, or actually, what's kind of the extreme you could take one of these lists to, and maybe have a good time with it, which I think is the other way of looking at these lists. And I know you and I have done looking at these lists, have done like some extreme things that not necessarily because they're competitive, but I think some of them look bloody fun. To be fair,
I've got, I think, one of my lists. I think both of them are probably middle of the road, actually.
Yeah, like I don't think either of mine would do particularly well in an event. However, I would have an absolute blast playing them. I think, to be
probably
honest.
literally went the null list.
Yeah, null list I think is genuinely fun. Although actually, I went with a different type of night list than you but if I was going competitive night list, I would have gone the same as you. But because I know we talked about it a while ago, didn't we?
Yeah, I haven't seen your list, so it's a total surprise.
Yeah. With that in mind, not a review. Like you say, we're here to talk some crap about our lists and just maybe pick out some bits and pieces then afterwards that we particularly like from the Arcane Journal. Not from a review point, but just bits that we thought, ooh, that's quite nice.
Well, as people see with my list, there's one item I've just spammed to high heaven.
Yes, well, with that in mind, shall we segue across then into your State of Nuln, Empire City State of Nuln list?
Yeah, so
is the mouthful of the official title of it.
The Gun Boys for this.
The Gun Boys. Daka.
I've gone for a heavy chariot theme.
Yes, I mean, people can see on the screen there your characters. Now, without going into any detail, people can see pretty quickly that is a lot of heavy chariots.
Just the 3.
Just the 3.
But the big problem with Null, I find, is the no access to level 4 or level 3.
Yeah, I think that's absolutely fair comment.
I've tried to counter it. Kicking off as the general, you've got the Archlector on his war altar with the Ogre Blade and the White Cloak.
Going Ogre Blade is interesting because he's only got 3 attacks.
It's just some punch.
I mean, which is fair. Yeah, it's a bit of combat punch. You need it somewhere.
But it's the 18-inch aura of -2 to cast.
Yeah.
Then,
although the prayers aren't what they used to be, like they're still
handy.
They're still handy. They've still got a role to play, I think.
Then going on to the level 2 Master Mage on foot with the Wizard's Familiar and insert lore here. He's not there to cast.
Yeah, he's just there to give you a dispel, isn't he?
Yeah, and with the Wizard's Familiar, his dispelling at +3.
Yeah.
And with the -2 for the Archlector, you're potentially at a 5-point swing.
It's a combination to stop your opponent's casting spells, isn't it?
Yeah. If he gets a spell off, great. But he's 125 points of dispelling.
Yeah, I mean, it's not. It's there for what it's there for.
Yeah, and if people want to stay outside of 18-inch, that's great.
Well, it means a lot of the opponent's sort of offensive spells to hurt you, or indeed sort of debuffing and hexes, etc., are also out of range. So frankly, if they're avoiding the War Altar and your mage, win for you.
Yeah, because of what comes next. Then we've got your first engineer with the blunderbuss, because I think it's just...
I like the Green Launch and blunderbuss. Yeah, D3 +1 hits on a successful hit, isn't it?
Yeah, strength 4, AP 1.
Yeah.
He's the BSB with the War Banner.
Like it.
He's got a Talisman of Protection.
So he's flat +2 combat +3 combat res.
Yeah, because
Close Order, BSB, War Banner.
Yep. And then he's on a War Wagon for Close Order.
Yeah, that's the third one. Yeah.
So, and all the attacks that go with the War Wagon.
Aye, the impact hits, the plethora of sort of crew attacks. That's, I mean, it's a lot of points. I like it. You know, the other thing about what's lovely about the wall, and I'm sure we'll touch it when we flip the screens and I show the characters. I'm sure anyone who's watched a deep dive has seen the fact that anyone mounted on it, no minus for movement to shoot.
Yeah.
I like that a lot, and it gives it a lot of versatility, and I think you will see them used.
Yeah, he's up to 7 wounds.
Yeah. So for your humble Empire engineer, very strong. And then you're also making use of one of the special rules for Null, that you can actually have an engineer BSP, which is just cool as well.
And all the little attacks that come with the War Wagon. Then we've got a second engineer, also bringing his wagon.
You've gone absolute wagon crazy.
Yeah. With the Trickshot's Wondrous Arquebus, which is strength 6.
Is it 6? Is it not 5?
No, I think it's 6.
Is it? Okay.
Head.
I didn't think it was quite as good as Dragon Ball.
Yeah, no, but...
either way, it's very good. It's very good.
It's just more shots.
Yeah.
Then, the poor one, obviously from Sterling, he can't afford a War Wagon, so he's just on foot.
Oh, bless him.
He hasn't even got a gun.
He's a trainee. He's a trainee engineer.
Yeah, no. Peasant.
Really interesting list of... excuse me, sorry. Really interesting set of characters.
998 points.
That's a lot of character points, that. But, I mean, it's not really characters, is it? The point you're paying is because you've got 3 of them on big, heavy chariots.
And 2 of them have got a ward save. And the third one will hopefully get a ward save from the Lector.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, high toughness, they're going to take some...
Oh, they're going to take some taken down. They're also, because they're on chariots, immune to kill and blow.
Yep.
That sort of thing. And it's going to be hard to just shoot them off or magic them off. And then in combat, they're not to be sniffed at. I mean, the idea is that not much makes it to combat unscathed with them, is it?
Yeah.
And that's anything that gets there, the Orc Lector's there for, really.
Yeah, by the time they get through, the impact hits should finish everything off.
Yeah.
So into core.
And
this is a lovely core for Empire.
Oh, the fact that you can have Outriders in core is a beautiful, beautiful thing.
It totally changes the dynamic of core.
Honestly, I was half tempted whilst writing my list to go just massive units of Outriders. I haven't, spoiler, which is a shame. But I was half tempted to go absolutely bananas on unit size of Outriders.
I think Outriders are immense. I think they're great in Grand Army.
Mm-hmm.
and in null when they're not getting ponderous.
Oh, incredible.
So you've just got 4 with the champion with the grenade launcher and a musician. Musician just there for the fire and flee.
Yeah, I must admit, well, you'll see on my list shortly, I don't have musicians in mine, but that's a really valid point. I would probably maybe have to rejig to see if I could put them in.
Yeah, it's just to make sure they rally with the fire and flee.
Yeah, no, I think that's totally fair.
Then a second unit with just 5 of them. Then the mandatory state troops.
So you've gone 24.
24 and 8 handguns with the champion.
Okay.
It's a decent enough block, and 8 handguns with the champion. It's enough.
Yeah, it's fair enough.
At one version of the list, I did go all in with, your Griffin banner and a bigger unit and all that.
I mean, you may see something like that in my list, because I love that combo.
But then you've got 2 cannons and 2 hellblasters.
There we go. 2 cannons, 2 hellblasters. I mean, that's what dreams are made of.
List done.
It's guns, and a block of troops.
It doesn't move. The Outriders go and skirmish and shoot at things. 18-inch bubble of magic protection. And you've either got a choice of standard range, get shot, or come in and get shot, and then run over.
Yeah, I mean, naturally, as ever, this kind of army, its weakness would be against a really aggressive rush list.
Yeah.
But that's always going to be the weakness of this list, of this kind of list. And that's what, I suppose for you, that's what your chariots are there to hopefully counter.
Yeah,
as well,
and you can always,
assuming they haven't been battered off the cannons.
And you can always put the Outriders in open order and use them as redirectors.
That's it. I mean, absolutely. It's that weakness of matchup is always going to be the weakness of matchup, though.
Yeah.
Right, and there's some things are going to do good against some things, and some things aren't. At the same time, they've got to get through your guns.
It is quite funny, I find, with the Empire Arcane Journal, that you've got one half of it is the list that wants to avoid a max aggression list, and the other half of it
is a max aggression list. Yeah.
But
yeah, I like your list, and I think it's wild. I think if I scroll back up to the character section, it's just insane. That's a lot of war wagons, and I mean, if I just quickly move across and just scroll down to the war wagons, so we can just sort of chat through them, because you've gone so heavy into it. I mean, 6 crew, couple of war horses, the heavy chariot, the armor saver 3 up is good.
Great save, yep.
It's the fact that it's got good impact hits and stomp attacks as well.
And stomps.
It gives it the grind that other chariots don't have.
And it can run through walls.
Yeah. I just think it's a very... And then you got your mix of weapons as well.
Yeah, it's...
It's just... it's good. I think a standard one is, 140 points?
145, is it?
100? 140. Yeah, 140.
140.
Absolutely.
It's a bargain.
Aye.
Unfortunately, it's made to order Forge World resin.
And isn't out on initial release, which is a shame.
Yeah. But
that said, the minute they do go made to order, I'll be ordering one. Just one. Well, so we'll go on to my list in a second. So I'll go on to my list now. I'll bring it up. What I've done, obviously I'd seen your list before I made my list. I was putting this together. I've tried to avoid what you've gone heavy into. So I don't have any war wagons in the list. Which made us sad, but I did want to offer some variety of a very similar theme list, naturally. So, I've also gone Lector of Sigmar as my general. And he's also on an Altar of Sigmar.
It's a solid piece.
It is, and it's anti-magic.
Because when you can only take the level 2.
Well, unlike you, I haven't even gone for a level 2, so I've gone absolutely no magic. I've embraced Nuln. I'm faith and steel and nothing else. My Elector's got the white cloak and a sword of might because I couldn't afford a better weapon, and I think he does need a little bit of something.
Yeah, just in case you come up against the ethereals.
Yeah, and like sword of might, it puts him on strength 5. It's okay. I've then got my first captain of the Empire. BSB, full plate, BSB, on foot, dragon bow.
No shield?
He's got a charm shield.
Charm shield.
Because again, 5 points, so why not? Oh, I've just realised I've made a boo-boo on this next one, so I'll have to amend my list slightly. But I've then got another captain, and I've forgot to give him full plate mail, so I would have to readdress the list slightly. So a bit of an error on my part.
4 points.
Sorry? Yeah, exactly. It's easy to find. So the first one has got the dragon bow. This next one has got Von Trickshallot's wondrous aquabus as well.
Can that be taken on a
Captain?
captain, or is it engineers only?
No, I think I thought it was just Empire Null only.
I may be totally.
If I'm totally wrong, then I would just switch up who's got it. I'd probably just.
Oh no, it's just in the null army.
Yeah, I thought so because actually the captain's got better ballistic skill.
Yep. Sorry, and you were right. It's strength 5, AP 2, armor bane 1, multi wounds D3.
It's the D3 though. That technically, the dragon shield, the dragon bow is multi wound 2. That's multi wound D3, but for 1 less bit of strength. I think both though really solid ranged attacks.
Yeah, and the arquebus doesn't get the range penalty.
Yeah, I just think it's a dual combo of threat. That adds to everything else. And I like both. I like a couple of captains. They're cheap. I mean, even with the weapons, they're cheap. And in Ballistic Skill 5, they're quite reliable.
Yep, and it's the immune to panic as well with the hold the line.
Yeah. So solid, like a solid. I think they do what Empire do. They're cheap and decent.
Yeah. They're not going to set the world on fire.
No.
But
and then the rest of my characters are just 2 Empire engineers, naked as a baby. Like they don't even get light armor. They don't get light armor. They don't get guns. They're paupers, trainees.
They're there to just look after some hellblafters, I imagine.
But that may or may not be the case. Yes, indeed. So we then go into core, and I've gone something different. And I've gone really core heavy. I've got 788 points of core.
You legend.
So in a game where core's not very good, I've thought, screw it. We're in there like swimwear. So there's loads of meat on the bones of this, but I quite like what it's got. So 35 veteran state troops with 2 detachments of 5 handguns. They've got full command, drilled, Griffin standard, and the champion has got the twice blessed armour.
I quite like that.
And I think it's a little bit spicy when things get into combat with it. Like,
full plate, and
so he's got shields. So he's on the champion's on a 3 armor save and can cast Hammer Hand at level 2.
Bound 2.
And for 25 points, I think it could just be a little bit spicy.
I like it.
It's different, and I've gone absolutely insane with the amount of points I've spent in core. So actually, in reality, I would tweak around a little bit because actually I'd probably drop something. But I think that block is actually really spicy.
You're at static 7 if the BSB's in there.
Yeah. So what they've got 4 for
ranks.
4 for ranks, 1 for close order, 1 for the BSB, 1 for the In fact, did I give the BSB? Oh, no, I didn't. I'd probably have to go back and give the BSB the War Banner as well, just to
make it 8.
Just to make it 8, so that actually I can just beat a dragon on static res. Because you know I love beating dragons on static res.
Yeah, especially Dark Elf ones.
Especially Dark Elf ones.
You've never won a combat against that unit.
Sorry?
In all the games.
You hate it? Yeah. So I couldn't. Like, this just does it. This just does it even better than the regular Empire. Plus, there's some guns.
Yeah, but knowing you chip a few wounds on the way.
I probably would, especially if it was yours. The rest of the core with me crazy core spend is 2 units of 4 Outriders, both with champions and both with grenade launchers. Like
Standard.
It's exactly what we talked about when you were running through your list. I just think it's such a good. They're so good. They're so good. They're just too good.
It's 9. So 3 of them is 9 shots from the Outriders.
Yeah.
And then the grenade launcher.
I've then gotten 2 units of Empire Archers, 6 each. Not scouting. They're there. They're skirmished and they're there to sort of get in the way of things.
Grab any castles.
And they're just a bit of chaff to hopefully just provide a little bit of the world's tiniest speed bump.
Yeah.
And then into my special and core, I've gone 3 great cannons because if 2's good, 3's better. I've also gone double Hellblaster, and I've given mine Vanguard and Veteran.
It's points on something, I suppose.
Well, it's not just that, but it means their rules say they can Vanguard, and you don't count as moving for your turn 1 shooting, so you can Vanguard an inch. And then if you do go first, your Hellblasters are within their range of 24 inches.
Yeah, it's fair enough, but it's
niche, because, will you go first? Probably not, because you've got quite a few drops, which maybe is why I would rethink a little bit.
And you can't dig them in with the engineers.
No, but I can Vanguard and shoot turn 1.
Yeah.
You know me, I love shooting my Hellblaster as early as possible.
With the amount of scouts and other Vanguards kicking around, I don't think that's an issue.
Yeah. I mean, what's wrong? Is it niche? Is it possibly a waste of points? Yes to both. That said, that one game where you go first, having Vanguarded your Hellblasters, and then just open up on something would be hilarious.
Yeah, it's going to that one game where you take out a dragon somehow.
I mean, this list is similar to yours in the fact that, or any nullness. If you rush at it, it's not going to be fun.
No, I think it's a really nice list, and I think there is. Well, we've both played Empire Gunline.
Well, I played against Empire Gunlines. We both played we both played Jack at the last Warhammer World event that we went to. The cannons on were an 8, but they're still scary. And 3 of them can take out dragon in a turn.
Yeah. If Sigmar's with you.
Yeah. But with a bit of luck, I'd have at least 2 turns to shoot at them.
I think there is legs in that army list, but I think it's going to.
I think it's a bit of a work in progress. If I'm honest, I think I'd cut down on core and spend elsewhere, but I do think the fundamentals are actually a strong list. Other than a massive block that's really, really hard to shift, there's not lots of points other than war machines.
Yeah, but I think it'll take someone that is willing to just drill it.
Mm-hmm. I think that's the thing with Empire in general. Having played it several games with them now in Old World, there's some good lists there. You've just got to enjoy Empire to want to really drill it and want to play it.
And they're not forgiven if you make a mistake.
No, they're not. I still think they're a good all-comer list. I think they'll get better in the future as me gut feel. As people go to scenarios and change scoring to just outright killing, I think that naturally then plays into the hands of Empire a little bit, who have got lots of different types of troops and can do it cheaply.
Yeah, I think going into our event,
yes,
we get a boost from having 3 missions.
Yeah, for sure. And in our event, I would definitely adjust this because I would have more troops.
Yeah.
But I would love to play this list, or like I would, if I slightly amend it a little bit, I would play something like this, and I think I would actually really enjoy it. I think it'll be an absolute blast to play.
You know you're going to get that one game where all your war machines just die.
Oh, nothing more certain in the world. Like, you'll roll a misfire, you'll re-roll a misfire engineer, and you'll roll another misfire, and you'll roll a 1, and you'll be like, brilliant. And then you'll do it consecutively, because at some point, the dice gods will laugh at you.
But then you'll get the other game where you go, dragon, dead in turn 1.
That's the thing. For every game where you blow up all your war machines, you have that moment where you take out monsters or dragon lords in a turn, and you sit there thinking, yes, Sigmar was with me.
Yeah, totally.
And I think both of our lists offer that. We've just done it in slightly different ways.
Yeah.
But I think the nullness has got legs.
I think both do, actually.
I do think a null list, for someone who likes Empire and really wants to play a gunline, offers some serious options.
Yeah, I think there's a list there that you'll play against it and you'll go, what the hell's just happened to us?
You know, I totally agree. And I think someone who really is going to enjoy it is going to have a good time with null. Yeah, you can't have a level 4 wizard. But you can work around that.
Yeah, I think if...
I think your way of working around it is a good workaround.
Can't have a wizard.
Say again, sorry?
It's the big thing is getting past that mental thing of I can't take a level 4.
But you know, magic isn't the be all and end all in Old World.
No,
it's not. Like I really don't think it is. It's very, very useful, and some of the spells are excellent. But you don't need magic to win games.
No, and I think you can, like my list, if you've got an 18-inch aura of you're not getting anything off.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you can chuck pillars of fire through it and all that,
yeah.
but my cannons will be doing more damage than your pillars of fire.
Yeah. Yeah. Aye. So I think both of us have gone like similar mindsets a bit with none. I think, but you've got to the mindset is gunline.
Yeah, gunline with.
If you don't want to play gunline, you're not taking a null list.
I think you need the war altar in there.
I do kind of think null lends itself. It kind of does need the war altar for a bit of magic protection.
Yeah.
I think so. I mean, otherwise you could drop that and take another cannon. Because you can't take up to 6 at 2,000 points.
Sometimes there is a thing as too much.
That's all you're going to say about that. So that's null, and that's sort of the first of the Empire Legacy list, which I'm sure obviously people are aware of. And then the other one is various different flavours of knightly orders. If I just sort of scroll up with this one, null. I've gone past it twice over. Apologies, everyone. Have I? No, I haven't. I've just gone crazy.
And I really like it that some of the lesser orders have started to get a bit of...
Yeah, so the options are Panther, White Wolf, Blazing Sun, Moor, and Fiery Heart.
Which I'd never heard of Fiery Heart before.
You know, I'm sure I remember reading one of the old Empire books, like the novels or the novellas about, and they were mentioned, but I don't remember them really standing out historically.
I remember Knights of Moor.
Yeah, Moor, absolutely. Blazing Sun, definitely. White Wolves, 100%, and Panther have always been right up there.
But no Reiksguard.
No.
They don't exist yet.
Don't exist yet. It's too early for them, isn't it? So, like you said earlier, it's the real opposite of null. Like, one really pushes, is very static and just shoots. The other one is by its very nature, is a knightly order list.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, it's what we've seen from the other Arcane Journals.
Yeah, it absolutely is. Like every Arcane Journal really has got a list that's all about being mounted being mobile, being fast.
And good, yeah.
They've gone with a trend for this first batch of Arcane Journals.
Which I don't mind. I think it's...
Honestly, I like it, and a lot of the Arcane Journal lists aren't there to push the competitive scene per se. They're there to offer some genuinely nice variety, and some people who want to play a real themed list pick these up and really enjoy it.
I really like what they've done. I think a few of them, I don't think any of them have been total stinkers. But you're always going to have winners and losers.
Yeah. I mean, I'll come on. In some of our future ones, we'll come on to some of the Arcane journalists that I don't rate that highly, or I think are really held back by for some reason.
Yeah, but
I don't think either of the Empire ones are. I think they're just pretty good fun.
I think the middle of the road.
Yeah. So, of these 5 knight options, what have you gone with, sir?
I've gone for Death Knight.
Of course you have. And what is the biggest driver for you taking Knights of More?
They may get all the knights, all the knightly characters, get Hatred Undead.
Yeah.
And a 6-up
ward against non-magical attacks?
Against non-magical.
Yeah, I like that.
So, yeah, okay, you play a lot of Undead, so...
I do play a lot of Undead. I mean, let's be honest, at least 8 out of 10 games I play are with a variety of Undead.
Yeah, so that had nothing to do with it.
That's okay.
The 6-up ward, it's handy on 20, 30 point...
Oh, it's not to be sniffed at. It's not much worse these days than what demons have got.
Yeah, it'll save a few guys across the game. It's not a bad thing. Then the characters and the Inner Circle Knights get magical attacks.
Yeah, and this is why actually, if I hadn't that you'd already done more, I would do more. I actually think more is the best one personally. And
I think it is. And as well, they also get the cause fear.
Yeah, and that's one of the I think causing fear, having innate magical attacks, and that 6-up ward is really good. The other thing I genuinely love about the more option, which is why I would also take it, it can have a level 4 wizard.
It can have a level 4, yeah.
And the build you've gone with, not spoiling, is the build I would also be going with in a more list. I think it is just one really different, a very different threat in Empire, and a little bit sexy.
Yeah. So going through mine, we've got the Grandmaster with my standard general loadout of a TOP and an Ogre Blade.
On a demi.
On a demi, full plate, and a shield.
Yeah.
So he's rocking a 2-up, 5-up,
Ogre Blade. 5-up, and he's got an Ogre Blade. I mean, not to spoil anything, but that might be an absolute identical build to my Grandmaster in my list.
Then we've got a Chapter Master, again on a demi. Oh, he's only got heavy armor. Oh, he's got heavy armor because of something else.
I can see why you've got heavy armor.
He's the biggest B with the Rampage in standard, so his unit rerolls charges. He's got the twice blessed armor.
As we discussed, I love this armor.
So there's his full plate.
And Hammer Hand on a combat character who wants to get in anyway. I just think, and Hammer Hand is not a bad spell.
That's not at all.
2d3, strength 4, AP 2.
Yep, and his magical attacks on his lance.
Yeah.
And he's also got the Silver Horn, which lets you reroll Swift Stride.
Which means he's actually, fundamentally, his unit is rerolling all of the charge dice.
Yep.
The charge and the Swift Stride dice.
So that 17, 18-inch charge
is reliable.
Yeah.
The big charges you can kind of take on.
Yep.
Without being too worried about falling short or anything like that.
Yeah, it just gives it that unit reliable, and how you set the units up we'll come to later. Then you've got a Wizard Lord.
Yeah. Now this is the guy.
On Demo, on his griffin
Yep.
with the wizard and staff. So assailments and magic missiles are +1.
So he's level
to
5
cast.
on those two items, on those two types of spell.
He's white cloaked for his award, and the Tome of Midnight, which is a new item.
I love this item. I'll just just bring it up on the screen for people who've not seen it before.
30 points. You get an extra spell.
Yep.
And you get +1 to cast anything from demonology, necromancy, and dark.
Yeah. So on any assailment. So, for example, demonic familiars from demonology, he casts as a level 6.
Yeah.
And the summoning
level
demonology,
6.
he also casts as a level 6.
Yep. But he gets loner.
He gets loner, so he can't join.
Well, he's on a griffin.
But he's on a griffin. I actually think this is a really, really good spell, and to circle back to what I said before, if you hadn't have built a Moor list with this wizard, I would absolutely have built this exact same character build, because I think it's so fun, and I think it'd be such a shock to people to see a wizard in an Empire list on a griffin, actively seeking combat as well.
Yeah, and not just that, but you've got the spell for -2 leadership.
Mm-hmm. And you cause terror.
And he's not the only thing that causes terror.
Yeah.
So, into my core,
Mm-hmm.
7 Inner Circle Knights with full command. The champion's got possibly the best magic item
The Witch
in the Arcane Journal.
Ward.
Yep, it's a once per game reroll an armor save.
Yep, that's not why you're taking it, though, is it?
No, it's for the 2 MR.
Yeah.
For 20 points.
20 points for MR2 is phenomenal.
So they're all rocking the Cause Fear at unit strength 14.
Yep.
MR2. 2-up save, stubborn.
It's a good block of troops.
Then you've got 2 units of 4 ordinary knights with stubborn.
Yep. I really like that loadout in core. I think it's 500 points well spent. I like 2 little eye units of knights. I think they've got...
You can set them up in a line of 4, or you can go into a marching column with them and use them as redirectors.
Yeah.
108 points.
I think they've got lots of uses. For 108 points, I think they're not to be sniffed at.
Yeah, you've got to kill all 4 of them if they're in a marching column.
Yeah. It's 108 points that aren't as easy to take off as you think they're going to be. And they've got a use.
Yep.
Stubborn as well. Really good. I like it.
Into my special, 3 demis.
Yep.
With a champion and a standard full command on them.
Full command's interesting.
The champion's got the Witch Hunter's Ward.
Because it's a common item. Which is crazy, really. For MR2 for 20 points is crazy.
And he's once per game reroll a 2-up save.
Yeah.
And the Iconomore, which gives a unit fear, and if it's already got fear, it causes terror.
So that is your second terror bomb item.
Yeah. Then a second unit of knights on demis, same load up, but they've got the Tapestry of Sigmar's Triumph, which is reroll 1s to wound on the turn they charged.
Oh, that's quite nice. Considering, obviously the Lancers, but also just for the demis with strength 5.
Yeah.
It just makes them more reliable.
So you've got the options here. You can put a character in each unit.
Or you can go double character and 1 unit.
Yeah, and make it an absolute death ball.
Yeah. No, I like that special setup. I do. And I think demis are still just very, very good.
And if anyone's interested, I costed it up. And from Goblin Games, it was £212
to buy this entire army from scratch.
Yeah.
Because as you can see, There's also nothing in rare.
Yeah. You buy 3 boxes of demis and the general and standard bearer pack.
Yep, and just a little bit of conversion.
Yep, just smash the BSB and the general onto the demis.
Yep,
And 2 boxes of knights.
and you're done.
And then the griffin.
Yeah.
And there's your list done.
I like it, and I think more is a really interesting option. Like, it's a send list.
It's a full send list.
It's a full send list with a little bit of finesse.
It's different.
It is different. It absolutely is different. And I think the way the Empire Knightly Orders work, like, they're going to make you play a different list.
Yeah.
And I think that's why I love the Arcane Journal and the Legacy list in general, because of the theme, and because, one, you can play a really thematic list, but also you can play the army that you like, in this case Empire, in a totally different way.
Yeah, this plays very different to any other Empire list.
Yeah. For sure. For sure. So, like I say, you already went more. I actually think they're the best Empire Knightly Order, personally.
I think it's them or Fiery Heart.
Well, I went with Blazing Sun.
Let's just remind myself here.
So, Blazing Sun, you can take Master Mages, and you can also take a cannon per 1,000 points, but you can't take any priests. And then also, the unit rules, what have we got? The gain evasive and flaming attacks, which I just quite like. And a unit, including a chapter master or a grand master, has an additional +1 combat res.
On the turn the charged.
Yeah. Which is just, again, is it game breaking? Is it as good as what's in the maul list? I don't think it is. However, I do quite like it.
It's funny, it's the evasive on something you want in combat.
Yeah, it's an odd one. So, my list is Grandmaster, full plate mail, shield, Blazing Sun, on a demi, Ogre Blade, Talisman of Protection.
The winner's choice.
You may have seen that already. I've then got a Chapter Master. He's a BSB. He's got heavy armour and shield. And the twice blessed armour. I just think for the points, it's really, really good. Like, is it 20 points? 25 points.
But when you think your full plate's 3 points, so it's 22 points.
Yeah, it's effectively 20 points. I think it's very, very good for the points, and I think on a character you want to be getting into combat anyway, it's good.
It's one of those things, if I've got 20 points left over, 25 points left over, and he's got the capacity for it, you'll stick it on.
Yeah, exactly that. And I wanted to sort of, I also think it's battle magic, but it's quite a fire orientated spell. And on both lists, I really wanted to lean in to the theme to show people that you can really get hold of these legacy lists and enjoy a theme.
Arcane Journals.
Yes. Yeah, the legacy list. Oh, sorry, not legacy. My goodness, apologies.
Whiskey.
Yeah, whiskey and just a desire to play legacy armies. But yeah, I really want to sort of just really lean into the theme on both of these lists, because Empire is quite vanilla as an army, but the lists, these Arcane Journal lists, really let you put the flavour on, and that's what I love about them. And then the other characters, I have 2 level 2 wizards, both on horses, both with a wizard staff, both on battle magic.
So you're hoping you roll the fireball.
I'm hoping to roll fireballs, and if not, they're both taking a hammer hand to cast on the turn the charge. 122 points.
Yeah.
And also it gives us a couple of, if they split them up a little bit, it's some magical protection.
Yeah, it gives you with 2 level 2s you can cover a lot of the board.
Yeah, no, exactly that.
And let's be honest, with these sort of lists, you're going to make the board small because you're going to push up.
Oh, these lists are all about making the board as small as possible in the movement phase, isn't it? It's controlling that movement phase and making people play the game on your terms to a point.
Yeah.
Then into core, not too dissimilar from yours, truth be told, I've gone for a unit of 8 Inner Circle Knights. Full command, stubborn, and nothing else special. 2 blocks of 4 Knights, again with stubborn.
Yep.
And plenty of options there where I put the wizards.
Yeah,
which I like as well. They could both go into the big Inner Circle block if I wanted to.
Or they can just hang around close by it.
Exactly. I think it's plenty of things that will soak. The wizards can be free to do what they need to do.
Yeah.
Then you can play it differently based on what spells you roll, which I like. I've then also gone for a unit of 7 Empire Archers in core with scouts.
That's interesting.
Because they can be a nuisance and they can get in the way, and I quite like them. I think for the point they can be very useful.
I think until we get clarification from GW, it's tournament pack dependent.
I totally agree. So if people are counting scouts
as a drop,
which is rules as written, and therefore count against the +1 to go first, I wouldn't take them.
Yeah.
In a tournament pack that plays scouts that they don't count towards your +1,
you take them.
I take them.
Yeah.
I think that's the option of the list.
You want to be going first.
Because I want to be going first. Yeah.
And you've got very few drops in a night list.
Well, yeah, I've got more drops than you though. Because then we're going to special, and I have a unit of 4 demis, a unit of 3 demis, and 2 great cannons. Because I couldn't feasibly put an Empire list together when I could take guns and didn't take guns.
Yeah, you need your cannons.
I need to. But I actually think, depending on what you roll, it gives this list a bit of sort of dual threat.
Yeah.
In the fact that you've got 2 wizards, so you might roll some Pillar of Fires, you might roll some Fireballs, so you've got some range threat there. You've got whatever you do with your archers, like not real threat, but there's something. But you've got then 2 cannons, and actually, you're a full send list that can afford to sit back because your cannons, depending on what you're facing, against say another full send list, your cannons can do some serious work before you then.
Oh yeah,
press the button
against a slow list, something like your Tomb Kings, when you've only really got the Dragon Lord with any speed.
Yeah, I do rate great. They're not what these be, but I think great cannons for 125 points are still very, very good.
Oh, I still think they're very good.
And against a list that is taking, say, multiple monsters, they put some big threat out there, whilst your knights can afford to hang back a little bit, and then you press the go button when it suits you.
Yeah.
With some magical support as well.
No, I think it's a good list. I know why you took Blazing Sun, because you can take the cannons with it.
That's exactly why I took Blazing Sun. Like I say, I genuinely do think Moore is the best knight option. But I don't think it's so. That's probably just because it also would suit my play style and my fantasy.
Yeah.
Because I think painting a knight or more list would be really nice as well. Like really go into that kind of like the blacks and like maybe even go a little bit sort of undeady theme, and obviously naturally that's right in my wheelhouse.
See, it's Fiery Heart gaining the hatred orcs and goblins, but wizards.
Yeah. They've all got some good rules of the knights, and I think that's the beauty of it. I think, to be honest, more's just more my cup of tea. But I would quite like to play that Blazing Sun list, to be honest. Fiery Heart, the army rule, you can take flagellants, which I don't really care about.
But they're the best defense against dragons.
Flagellants. No, your static plus 8 combat res is your best defense against dragons. But I suppose, yeah, you're right. It's about what then the special rules give you, and Fiery Heart is good.
Yeah, but +1 initiative's never.
It's never to be sniffed at, is it?
No.
+1 initiative on the first round of combat, and that's not just when you charge. That's just all the time.
Yeah, and when you're counter-charging, so you're going against Brett's, you're going to be striking first.
I did nearly put together a White Wolf army just from a thematic point.
Yeah, you know me.
You love Changing Guard, don't you?
But
I know.
You can't take wizards. You can't take the War Altar. So you're wide open to.
You lose a lot of options.
Yeah. It's that you can't defend against magic because.
And it's not like you can say take cannons to.
Yeah.
Without the magic threat, you at least got gunpowder threat.
I want to love it because I think the units in it are great, but it's the army composition.
Yeah. No, I think you're right. It's got like, who doesn't love the theme of sort of the White Wolf army in Midnight? Everyone likes that, or so many people do. It will be a very popular thematic army, and the Changing Guard models are stunning.
Yeah, they are absolutely gorgeous.
But I'm with you. I just don't think the army special rules offer enough.
Yeah, I don't. I think what you're sacrificing, you don't get a big enough benefit.
Yeah, agreed.
While I think in the Null City state, you are sacrificing a lot, but you can make up for it.
Yeah, I really do like the Null City state as an army option. I actually kind of think if I was going with it, if I was going to go back to Empire from a competitive standpoint, I would genuinely be tempted to go Null and push to really drill them, because I think there's an actually good list in there. Like, I really do.
Like I said, mention it again, our tournament, I think it's really good when you've got those missions in there.
Agreed. I think, but at the same time, I think our comp pack, for again a good example, with missions, also doesn't hurt the night list either, because you've got some you could take. We're trying to really push infantry. However, from a unit strength that doesn't give away a lot, you could go slightly bigger night blocks as well.
Yeah. Like my night list wouldn't do well because you've only really got the inner circle as a scoring unit.
Yeah, but if you knew you were going to an event that had, say, the compact that we do, you could comfortably tweak it a little bit, though, couldn't you?
You'd have to put a lot more into core.
Well, I mean, evidently I'm okay with that because I've gone core crazy with these lists.
But no, I like it, and there's a lot of interesting stuff in there.
Yeah, say we're not going through it all today. There's lots of other army videos out there and content creators out there that will do a very, very good job at going through this Arcane Journal if they haven't already.
Yeah, well, we've been up for months
now. Lots of them have. Yeah, exactly that. I enjoy just making lists.
Yeah,
talked about it so many times.
This is what we enjoy doing rather than a very man reads book.
Yeah, and if you want to read, as you go through any of that, there's plenty out there. Read it yourself. It's easy to find. But they're the lists we thought we might take.
Yeah, these are the lists we would try.
I would definitely like to. I think that they're a good starting point to see what you'd want to work on, because I think any list, no list survives the initial write of it.
No list ever survives contact with the enemy.
Every list that you first build and you think, oh, I really like that, disappears when you start playing the game. And once you've had the first game or so with it, you then tweak.
And then
that's the beauty of Warhammer for me.
And as we discussed last week, God knows what could happen if an FAQ drops.
Yeah. And we'll be due one shortly, aren't we? Like we mentioned.
I'm actually surprised it didn't come out yesterday.
That's when you thought it was going to come out, isn't it?
Yeah, I thought it would come out ready for the Empire to come out.
Because I am expecting... I'd be shocked if it's now in January. Shocked.
We'll see. I'm going to revise myself now to next Thursday.
Nice.
Or not Thursday, because it's Heresy Thursday. Maybe a Wednesday or something.
I mean, enjoy it. Heresy. I actually quite like Heresy. I haven't got any armies for it, but actually, if I was to play a 40k S game, I would actually play 30k and play Heresy.
There is the big reveal show on Friday as well next week.
Yeah, that's true. Is that the Open?
It's the Las Vegas, yeah. Yeah, at 5 a.m.
Yeah. I mean, Friday. I'm on a day off Friday, actually.
If I'm up, I'll watch it.
I've got up for crazier things. And we'll continue to get up for crazier things.
But if I get up at 6 o'clock anyway. So
yeah, exactly.
If I'm
the issue is, I only really care about the old world stuff.
But it'll be interesting to see what does come for it.
Yeah. Yeah, it will.
Have you seen the previewed images?
I've not seen much, to be honest. No, it's been quite a week. I've not seen much at all.
There's a silhouetted image on it.
All right.
Which looks very much like an Amber Wizard or a Beastman Wizard.
Oh.
Beastman Shaman.
Nice. Good. Whet the appetite for Beastman. That's what we're talking about. That might be legitimately the next. It's the next Arcane Journal I'm really excited about, if I'm honest. And we know they're not next because they already announced it's High Elves next.
My prediction is we'll see the High Elf Wave 1.
Yeah.
Or possibly both waves. Like we did with the Empire.
Yeah.
And then we'll get the tease for maybe Beastman.
You would expect of the remaining armies Beastman to be next after High Elves.
Yeah. Yeah. Or otherwise you'd
just be going good guy. And let's be honest, nobody cares about the good guys.
Yeah, no, but I think you'll see the full High Elf relaunch. And then a tease for...
And I think the High Elf relaunch will go well in the fact that actually it's a very well-supported army. As in, a lot of people out there like High Elves.
I'm actually really, really intrigued on what to do, because correct us if I'm wrong, the Reavers, the Swordmasters, and the Griffin guy from Isle of Blood
were
all on one sprue.
Oh, God. Possibly?
And I think
I wouldn't make a commit to that, to be honest.
Were mixed with Scape. I'm not sure if they were mixed with Scape. I'll be interested to see what they do with those ones, because with those models being the starter set models.
Yeah. Have they announced the starter set? I mean the old starter set.
Yeah, I mean the 8th edition Isle of Blood one.
Sorry, I was very confused.
Because they never got their own release.
No, they were never released separately, were they?
There was I think, God, I may be wrong about. They did a release a couple of years back called something, the Tower of Dawn or something, where it was some of the sprues from the Isle of Blood box.
I don't remember. Honestly, I couldn't comment because I genuinely don't remember it.
Yeah, I'll just be interested to see how, because I remember them, they were all mixed up on the sprues.
I mean, I'm not excited. I'm not excited. I've never collected high elves. I've got no intention of collecting high elves. So in that regard, I'm not excited about the release next. The fact it's a new Arcane Journal and a new thing to look at and nerd over, I am excited about.
But I agree with you, but I wasn't excited about Empire, but then I've priced up doing an Empire army.
But you know, actually, you're right, because even having an Empire army, I wasn't even excited about Empire. And then it came out, and I was like, oh, actually, what about this? What about that? Ooh, this is an interesting magic item. And I think there's quite a few in the Empire list that are interesting and do make you think about your list building a bit differently.
But it's the sales. For me, it's kind of like every Arcane Journal that's come out, I've gone, I'm not starting an army, I'm just getting it to read. And I'm going, oh, I want to build this army.
Yeah.
I want to do it.
You've been terrible for it, to be fair, haven't you, these lot?
I'm just generally terrible.
I'm just a bad person.
You know, GW love us because they know I can't stick to a project and just go, give them some new and shiny.
And this is your year of sticking to 3 projects.
3 projects, yeah. But Beastmen are coming.
I actually think they will be my next major project. Will be a Beastman army.
You can hardly talk though, because your dwarves have gone to the wayside.
Oh no!
Your warriors have
I
gone
was
to the
hoping
wayside.
I was just hoping you wouldn't call us out on it. To be honest, the dwarfs are sitting there on the to-do list. The chaos are sitting there on the to-do list.
The VC already on the to-do list to rebase.
They are, but like, I've now shunted them off a little bit because I'm now thinking rather than doing VC, I might go amend my Tomb King list and stick with Tomb Kings. And I love me bony boys.
We're just terrible people.
Honestly, we're exactly what GW look at when they're looking to just sell loads of shit to people for loads of money because we've got no self-control and we just love Warhammer.
But as we've said many times before, this is what we'll love about the old world. That
it's just,
we are getting this new excitement.
Yeah, it's nice to have again. Like after so many years of not, it's really nice to have it again to look forward to and be quite excited about.
Yeah. Oh, it would be. We can't talk about the Empire and say the 2 new miniatures.
Which one? The wizards.
The
characters.
The special characters.
Yeah.
Fantastic moustaches.
Oh, and that's what you want in an Empire character. You want the moustache. Yeah, I mean, it's that bit of flavour in an Empire. You want that outrageousness. To be fair, don't you?
Yeah, they're lovely models as well.
I think for what is the most vanilla army out there, they've done a really good job at making an Arcane Journal that makes you quite excited about writing lists that have got a lot of flavour.
Yeah, I'll just be interested. Like we said, Empire or an infantry army.
Yeah, to a point, because actually in the last edition of Warhammer Fantasy in 8th, a lot of the actually competitive Empire armies didn't really take any troops, or you didn't. It was just one massive horde of halberdiers.
Yeah, one massive horde with a warrior priest in.
Yeah, but a lot of competitive lists had 0 infantry, and you were just cavalry and war machines.
But back to what I say, we'll see what the future holds for.
Because I'm with you, I actually think if comps or indeed JW themselves can do something to push infantry, immediately Empire will get a boost, as will all of the elves.
Yeah.
Well, less so with Wood Elves, I suppose, but the High Elves would definitely get a boost, as would Dark Elves from the Legacy point.
Yeah. You know, and then maybe, and your Bretts would get a little bit of a
Yeah,
nudge down, I
yeah, it would
think.
nudge Brett's down without even addressing some of their core OPness. But that said, we're now slightly diverging from our topic of the Empire Arcane
We're
Journal.
now just whittering.
We're now just
Reached
talking Warhammer
Friday
crap,
night.
which is
We've
what
had a
we
few
do.
beers time.
So we will draw this one to a close and just say hopefully someone out there enjoys listening to it because we enjoy talking about Warhammer
Yep.
and
And
talking about lists.
again, our event is still on sale. Links below.
Yep. Tickets are selling, but we've got plenty available. And if anyone is interested in our event, we'd love to see you there. Ticket information and our comp pack will be linked below, and we'd love to see more of you attend.
And then I think we'll probably try and get another one of these out relatively quickly.
Yeah, hopefully we'll get back on track, and in the next week or two, we'll at least have who should have been next. Orcs and Goblins.
Orcs and Goblins next.
We'll have our thoughts on Orcs and Goblins. Forgot to apologise at the start for Andy not being on, but he's brother's up, and he's got some stuff going on away from just talking crap about Warhammer.
Yeah, he's still part of the team, and will still make regular appearances.
And he'll still be
semi-regular.
And he'll still be recording battle reports when we just get back on. We've just got to get through Christmas and family stuff. But apologies that Andy isn't here, and you could hear his thoughts on whatever nonsense he would have put together for Empire. Not as crazy as your list, I'm sure, but mental.
No, he would have got more heavy chariots. You know what
Andy loves chariots. But yeah, thank you very much for watching. Love to see more of you at the event, and please continue to sort of support the channel by watching. We really do appreciate it. And we only make this because we love the hobby, and we love talking about the hobby.
Right.
So
good night, mate.